The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has made us aware of a hidden hand that exists in this world that is working against God for the purposes of deceiving God's people and all people in general. I would like for you to take note to some of what I'm saying and some of what we're saying, because none of this information is new. We must study today that we are not caught or snared by the lies that Brother Rodney just mentioned the enemy makes comfortable for us. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did a 56-week series called The Time and What Must Be Done. I would suggest that every brother and every sister go and review The Time and What Must Be Done, parts 20, 21, and 22. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan masterfully goes through these people who are behind the wickedness that you find on social media and in entertainment and in Hollywood. And he calls them the synagogue of Satan. Jew, Gentile, Muslim, non-Muslim. They exist, they are real. Many people have fell victim because of lack of knowledge of self. But those of us that are here in the Nation of Islam know better, and if you know better, you should do better by yourself. Because study is necessary, and study in the Nation of Islam is instructed for us. You just don't study, and I just don't study the information that's available, but we study the knowledge of God, the knowledge of self, a pure wisdom and a pure truth. And the Holy Quran says, we hurl truth at falsehood until it knocks out its brains, and lo, it vanishes. So let's knock some truth into the brains of the ignorant today. Now, I became aware of this particular series by another student minister, Brother Robert Muhammad, in Mosque number 35. And at first, because I don't like to waste my time, most of the time I'm watching the Weather Channel, my wife will tell you, or I'm watching a documentary, an occasional cartoon. But for the most part, I didn't want to watch the series. But because he gave me the backdrop and mentioned that in it there was a negative portrayal of the Nation of Islam, particularly the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that angered me. Because here's a man who is not just the messenger of God, but the exalted Christ. I was with our beloved brother, a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Brother Minister Jabril Muhammad, one day in Phoenix, Arizona. And we were having coffee with a few other brothers and his wife. And he had with him a book called Farrakhan, the Movie. And he slid the book to the middle of the table and he looked at us and he said, "How many of you are familiar with this book?" I was familiar with the book, but I didn't read it. So I told Brother Jabril, "Yes, sir, I'm familiar with the book." And his next question stopped me dead in my tracks. He said, "Did you read it?" I said, "No, sir." His next question was, "Why not?" I learned a very valuable lesson that day. You and I must constantly be studying. We must constantly study, constantly be on the lookout for the hidden hand of Satan, because we are the watch persons over the children of God. Praise be to Allah. those of us that have the knowledge must see ourselves as the shepherds over the flock of God's people that number in the billions. If we don't take hold to the knowledge that we have and what we've been given, we'll be lulled back to sleep on the basis of lies. So in the opening of this particular series, this is what it says. It says here, while this story is inspired by actual persons, events, certain characters, characterizations, incidents, locations, and dialogue were fictionalized or invented for purposes of dramatization. Let's go a little deeper. Characterization. The creation or construction of a fictional character. Fictionalize. Give or create a fictional version of. Invented. Create or design something that has not existed before. Create or design something that has not existed before. Make up an idea, name, story, etc., especially so as to deceive someone. So it opens up every episode with this disclaimer. One, because they probably don't want to get sued. We're going to talk about it. But they outright tell you, we are lying. How did you like it, brother? Oh, man, it was great. Praise be to Allah. It was great. What is it about us being reared under this devil that we become so comfortable with the lie that the man can tell us, I'm going to lie to you and you're going to love it? Huh? How many of you have ever seen a movie that was all happy? Nothing but love, happiness, no drama. And I guarantee you it was an empty movie theater. That's right. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us the key to see through the lie. Now, this Godfather of Harlem series, you got to ask yourself why. Because in this series, the way they depict the nation of Islam, you would think that we were worse than the church. They show Malcolm X, the brother that plays him. I don't think he did a good job. Denzel did a better job. At least Denzel was believable. I'm going to get to that point. But the hidden hand, and it's no secret. You can go and do the research. You can just Google it if you want. But these are Jewish writers. This is a Jewish-owned company. Epic. Why would they want to portray the nation of Islam? Bumpy Johnson, Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They told you in the beginning it was a lie. But the question is, why? Now look, the original Godfather of Harlem came out in 1973. Produced by a filmmaker who was a Jew named Larry Cohen. Now, in the States, it was called Black Caesar. But overseas in the UK, it was called The Godfather of Harlem. I want you to see, brothers and sisters, what you're watching on Epic today is just another modern blaxploitation film. That's all it is. We are being exploited for the purposes of deceiving a people about a righteous man named Elijah Muhammad and his servant Louis Farrakhan. Oh, Brother Michael, you reaching, see, because some of you don't know the value of these men. Because you don't see the value of yourself.